Hi everyone, today we are going to learn about the yet another what if analysis tool named Scenario Manager. So here I have given a scenario that where I take a loan of rupees 1 lakh at the rate of interest of 18% which is repayable in a tenure of 5 years, and my monthly EMI comes to 2539.34. This is arrived based on the formula which would have been explained in an earlier video, PMT. So this is arrived based on that. So 2539 is my monthly EMI. Now two other banks approaches me and says, one bank says that chalo yaar, pay me in 7 years, don't pay, hurry and pay it, close it in 5 years, I will give you 7 years time, but the rate of interest is same. And in another bank comes and says, I will give you the lowest rate of interest, that is 12%, but I want my money back soon, so you need to repay me within 3 years. So this is the scenarios I have currently. So I have to evaluate all the three scenarios in a single sheet. I can just copy paste and go, that is also fine, but we will just go through the what if analysis tool. So before going to the scenario manager, I would like to suggest that you name the cells, whether you are the input cells or the result cells. Name all your cells so that it will be easier when you see the summary. So I will just name this. You can name directly like clicking the cell and just typing the name in the name box. Okay. So loan, rate, and then this is tenure, and this is EMI. Or let me say, I will just delete this name so that you could understand why naming a cell is important in a when you are using a scenario manager. So I will just delete this rate name here, delete. Okay, so let us go here. Now going to data, you see the scenario manager under the what if analysis tool. So go to scenario manager, and I have already laid down the scenarios, but I will just delete it so that we will be adding from first. So first scenario is my first bank, say first bank, where it is change this cell, that is the number of years has to be changed. Okay, so what it has to change is it has to change from 5 to 7 because I'm going to repay in 7 years tenure. Okay, then if you are finished with the scenario with multiple scenarios, you can click OK, or if you want to add more scenarios, you can click add and then go and add the next scenario, where I say the second bank. Okay, in this second bank, I'm not only changing the number of years but also the number of or the rate of interest. So I will select both the cells like this and go ahead. So here now I want to say what is B3 and I want to say what is tenure. My tenure is 7 and my rate of interest is 12%. See, the Excel does not know what is a percentage is. It will convert everything to a value. So 0.18 was 18%, therefore 0.12 will be the 12% value. And you could see that when I named this B4 as tenure, it shows tenure here, but since I don't have defined a name to this cell, it says only B3. So this is the difference. You don't know what is that number you are seeing there. This is the problem with scenario manager. So you have to name the cell, the input cells as well as the result cells, to know what precisely you are mentioning to. Okay, and having all these scenarios slide down, we have some options that you could merge some of the scenarios from other sheets. You can add another scenario, you can delete the existing scenario, you can edit the existing scenario, all this. And this summary button gives the everything, the output of the summary of all the scenarios what are you are mentioned here. So first bank, second bank, there are 2 scenarios here. If I have 10 scenarios here, all the 10 will be summarized and it will be available in a new sheet. So let me just click on the summary. So you want to select what is the result cell is. Without selecting what is the result cell, you cannot move further by changing only the input. So I will select the result cell is this one, B5. And mostly scenario summary is just a summarized way of presenting, and summary scenario pivot table report will be odd and it is very hard to understand too. Therefore scenario summary is the report type we will be using defaultly. So going ahead with OK. Now this creates a new sheet called scenario summary. It groups some of the things, that is the changing cells and the result cells. It will just group that, and you can also check when the scenario is actually been created. So this is created by me on 27th March. So this will be hidden, and everything, all the scenarios put together will be grouped in the columns. You can ungroup or regroup whenever you want, and you can see the changing cells as tenure and B3. Now if you have everything with cell numbers B3, B4, B6, you don't know which sheet it belongs to. I only have one sheet in this Excel, so no problem. If I have 10 other sheets here, I won't know from which sheet the cell is mentioning. So I don't know whether it is sheet 1's B3 or sheet 3's B3. So you should be clear. Therefore you need to name the cell, so it will be appropriate to see. So this is the tenure. Yes, Pakka. What is this? It is rate, as we see this as a percentage, but it may not be always easy to understand what this cell reference is giving. And this is the EMI amount I am looking at. So when I borrow for 7 years at 12% rate, this is the rate. So now you could see this is 7 years. Actually I am not the engagement with the bank was not for 7 years but only for 3 years. So I have made a mistake. I can go to scenario manager from the sheet where I started the scenario processing and give edit, and I want to say that this is not 7, this is 3, and you can go ahead. I have voluntarily made this mistake to show you how this comment is coming, created by Dhyanesh on this and modified by Dhyanesh on this date. So it is only date specific, but it is not time specific, so you cannot see the time, but you will have this summary, and all this will be, it will be like an audit trail where you can see whenever this is getting changed, but it won't say what is changed. Maybe you want to look into it deeper. So if you want to show, it will show what is the result here, and if you click summary, it will show a result in the separate sheet. Every time you click OK, a new sheet will be created and not the existing sheet will get updated, because this sheet is not linked to anywhere. It is just numbers. There is no formula in this result cell. There is nothing here. So it is not linked to any sheet or cell. Once the scenario summary is presented, that's it. There is no link with the main sheet. If you go and change some formula to the EMI you have calculated and say that it is not for actually months, you are only paying for years, so it is only 3 installments or 5 installments only, it will not get updated here. You have to go and click the OK or summary button in the scenario manager once again from the sheet, so that you will get yet another sheet having the updated numbers. So this is not auto updated, and hence you need to go and select every time whenever you make some changes in the formula or something. So this has changed the numbers. So earlier numbers were 18 and 5. Okay. So I hope you would have understood the scenario manager concept. If you have any queries, please ping me through the comments and subscribe to the channel and get Excel file. Thank you.